Alright guys, what's up? I just stumbled upon something as I was watching some YouTube videos. I just want to first off state that I am not a YouTuber, I'm not an editor, I don't know anything about all that stuff. I just came across this and wanted to put this out there. If someone else comes across this video and wants to dive deeper on it, I believe we have a pretty strong case. I also like to say that this exactly isn't 100% a full exposing video, though I think you'll see what I've uncovered to be pretty damning. So there's these two creators that do gaming content, OpenWorldGames and LaserBolt. So when it comes to Mortal Shell 2, we have this creator, OpenWorldGames, who put out a video 6 days ago. I was watching it, and then I decided, let me watch another one on it. So I came across LaserBolt's video, and his was from 4 days ago, or now 5 days ago. But as I was watching LaserBolt's video, I was thinking to myself, damn, I've definitely watched this video before. So I took the transcripts from both videos and threw them into ChatGPT and asked it to, give me some breakdowns of if there's clear, copying or intent to take stuff from other creators. So I just wanted to play some clips, and if anyone else wants to dig deeper into this and find any other videos this LaserBolt guy has taken from other creators, they're both fairly large channels. OpenWorldGames has almost 700k subscribers, and LaserBolt is almost at 300k. So these aren't just tiny little channels. Again, sorry if my voice is low or the audio is off. Again, not a YouTuber, not an editor. I'm just winging this to throw something out there. But I'll give you a few examples to give you guys some proof. So the first one, we can hear OpenWorldGames. He talks about how many attacks and the stamina. And then we'll listen to LaserBolt. So first, this is OpenWorldGames.
You need to time parries, you need to use your shell ability, and you need to work firearms into your attack patterns. So instead of combat asking, how many attacks can I afford before I run out of stamina, Mortal Shell 2 is asking, how aggressively can I control this fight before the enemy takes control back? That's a pretty major philosophical change, and it makes Mortal Shell 2 look less like a smaller Dark Souls and more like its own action.
Alright, and now let's hear what LaserBolt has to say.
Is a posture system. Enemies carry a visible posture meter, and the goal is to break it and then punish them while they are vulnerable. So the question the combat asks has changed. It is no longer how many swings can I afford before I run out. It is how much pressure can I keep on before this thing takes control back. The finishers have had a lot of attention too. One preview specifically praised how naturally they fit into normal.
Alright, so you can clearly hear the exact, wording that goes on here between the two. I'll show you a little bit more damning one. Let's go to OpenWorldGames and 1353 about, and then LaserBolt is 522. Alright, so let's hear OpenWorldGames.
Currently allows you to carry up to 10 equipped car stones at once. That creates a lot of potential combinations. Your shell gives you the foundation, weapons change your attacks, your firearm changes your range pressure, your seal determines how you defend yourself, and the tar stone then starts modifying all of those systems. And that is a massive difference from the first Mortal Shell game. The original had customization, but Mortal Shell 2 looks like it actually wants you to make.
Alright, and now let's hear LaserBolt.
So your shell sets the foundation and your weapon changes your attacks. Your seal decides how you defend, and the tar stones modify all of it. The original had customization. This looks like it genuinely wants you making builds. Then there are the guns, because somebody at Cold Symmetry decided a Souls-like needed firearms. Recent.
Alright, so again, the exact same wording. Your shell gives you this, sets the foundation, weapons change attacks, seals determine defense, tar stones modify everything. LaserBolt basically compressed the same original explanation. Let's go on to number 3. We can go to Open World at 1507. And we'll go to Laser at 554. Alright, now let's hear what Open World has to say.
Cosmetic either. One of the more interesting observations was that enemies seem to have a mild rock, paper, scissors structure to them. Different opponents respond better to different attacks. So yeah, we've talked a lot about combat, but I actually think the open world could be the thing that determines whether Mortal Shell 2 is simply good or genuinely great. Because Cold Symmetry keeps using one phrase to describe this world: compact. And that is music to my ears, honestly. I'm at...
Alright, and now LaserBolt. Time to come in.
The shotgun style weapon available early in the beta gets mentioned a lot. One observation I found more interesting is that enemies appear to have a mild rock, paper, scissors structure. Different opponents respond better to different attacks and different damage types, so the weapon variety may not be cosmetic. Quick one for the comments while we are here. Do guns belong in a Souls-like, or is that a line? The open world is the thing I think decides whether this is good or genuinely great. Cold Symmetry described it as interconnected and expansive, yet deliberately compact, and the early impressions on that are encouraging. Coggy Connected called...
Alright, there we go. Pretty exact on to me. Same mild rock, paper, scissors observation, which of course came from, I believe it was the game's radar, but you'll see as you watch the video deeper, they both pull out the same exact sources, even the same exact commenters on video, what people are having issues with. There's a lot of similarities. Again, this isn't 100% proof, but in my opinion, this is about 99% chance that LaserBolt has stole OpenWorldGames video. We'll do one more and see what that one sounds like. And then again, you guys can check other videos. There's so many examples of exactly what's been said in this, but I don't want to make this video too long. Hopefully I didn't just lose my place. Again, not professional about this. I mean, not professional in this. Sorry about the video being all crazy, but I think we're over here on finishers. So we'll go to open world at 9:28. And laser at 2:44. Alright, let's hear what open world has to say.
In this world, like it owes you money. One preview specifically praised how naturally the finishers fit into normal combos instead of constantly interrupting the fight. That's another little thing that matters more than it sounds. Defensively, Mortal Shell 2 also tried to make enemy attacks easier to understand. Attacks now use clearer color coding. Red warns you about attacks you can't simply block. Yellow indicates attacks that can be parried. Some hardcore Souls players are probably going to hear that and immediately say the game is holding your hand. Maybe, but I actually think readability is one of the most underrated parts of a good combat system. I don't need every game to hide basic combat information just so I can prove something to myself. Give me difficult enemies.
Alright, Laser, your turn.
How much pressure can I keep on before this thing takes control back? The finishers have had a lot of attention too. One preview specifically praised how naturally they fit into normal combos instead of interrupting the flow of a fight. Defensively, there is now color coding on enemy attacks. Red marks attacks you cannot simply block, while yellow marks the ones you can parry. Some hardcore players will call that hand holding. Personally, I would rather know why I got hit, but that one is going to divide people. Now here is a change that longtime fans need to...
Alright, and what the hell, let's just do the last, I guess, as chat says, the last red one. For those still listening to the video or following along, we'll do OpenWorldGames at 14:36. And laser at 5:39. Good enough. Alright, open world, your turn.
Shell 2 massively expands the arsenal. Recent breakdowns put the full game at 8 primary weapons and 8 secondary firearms, compared with much smaller selection available in the original game. And the firearms aren't some novelty weapon, they're integrated seamlessly into the combat experience, and there's been a lot of praise about how the shooting feels and how the melee flow together, and also how the shotgun style weapon available early in the beta is surprisingly satisfying. Now, fortunately, the weapon variety apparently isn't just cosmetic either. One of the more interesting observations was that enemies seem to have a mild rock, paper, scissors structure to them. Different opponents respond better to different.
All right, and lastly, Laser, let's hear your take at it.
Symmetry decided a Souls-like needed firearms. Recent breakdowns put the full game at 8 primary weapons alongside 8 secondary firearms. That is a big jump on the original, and the impressions are that they are not bolted on. There has been consistent praise for how the shooting and the melee flow together. The shotgun style weapon available early in the beta gets mentioned a lot. One observation I found more interesting is that enemies appear to have a mild rock, paper, scissors structure. Different opponents respond better to different attacks and different damage types. So the weapon variety may not be cosmetic. Quick one for the comments while we are here.
All right, so there we have it. Again, there's a lot more examples. I'm just not going to go through them all and bore you all with my boring video. Yeah, I guess as most people say, like and subscribe if you can get this out. I don't know if you watch either of these two people, inform OpenWorldGames that LaserBolt might or might not, though it seems more plausible that he is. Again, if this was maybe 1 or 2 structures that sounded similar, it would be, I guess, throw it in the wind, call it, I don't know, heads or tails, we don't know. But with the fact that there's like 11, just off the chat, pulling it from the exact transcripts, 11 different similarities that are damn near identical structures. I'm not sure how many other videos LaserBolt has taken from other content creators. Again, just so I cover myself, this is just my own opinion. This is what I believe. There's no factual statements or factual basis behind this. It's just what it seems like to me. If you want to like, comment, let me know your opinion behind it. Share the video with someone else, and let me know if this gets taken any deeper. If you find more videos on this about LaserBolt stealing content from other creators, just let me know in the comments. Thank you.